tuned into the right place. Welcome to the rain. Golden Queuing. H 2.0. Yeah. You're looking for a diamond, found a treasure in the rough. Tired of all the noise, cause you finally had enough. I'm here to build a movement on a mission for the nation. Dropping gems of knowledge, killing all the hesitation. We fighting for the truth, yeah, we fighting for what's right. Building unity and shining up a brand new light. It's a variety channel, but the vision's crystal clear. Pushing us all forward, conquering the doubt and fear.
Welcome to the Queendom, H 2.0 on your screen, where the content's real and smart and funny in between. This is more than just a stream, it's a platform for the change. Time to elevate the game and rearrange. If you're ready for a vibe that you can feel and trust, joining in the movement is a definite must.
This ain't just another channel talking smack behind the screen. It's a spotlight for the creators, building up a better scene. Spreading radical love, that's the message in the code. Helping everybody carry up a heavy load. From social justice issues to the laughter that we need. Planting seeds of progress, watch them grow from just a seed. This is authentic, this is raw, this is everything you saw. Welcome to the battle that is truly being fought.
Ooh, so come with your respect and see the real effect. Cause I protect my own right here on the throne. Don't make me envy. Unleash the dragon.
Subscribe, ring that notification bell. Yeah, you don't wanna miss a thing. Welcome to the family. Yeah, you tuned into the right place. Welcome to the rain. Golden Queuing. H 2.0. You're looking for a diamond, found a treasure in the rough. Tired of all the noise, cause you finally had enough. I'm here to build a movement on a mission for the nation. Dropping gems of knowledge, killing all the hesitation. We fighting for the truth, yeah, we fighting for what's right. Building unity and shining up a brand new light. It's a variety channel, but the vision's crystal clear. Pushing us all forward, conquering the doubt and fear.
Welcome to the Queendom, H 2.0 on your screen, where the content's real and smart and funny in between. This is more than just a stream, it's a platform for the change. Time to elevate the game and rearrange. If you're ready for a vibe that you can feel and trust, joining in the movement is a definite must.
This ain't just another channel talking smack behind the screen. It's a spotlight for the creators, building up a better scene. Spreading radical love, that's the message in the code. Helping everybody carry up a heavy load. From social justice issues to the laughter that we need. Planting seeds of progress, watch them grow from just a seed. This is authentic, this is raw, this is everything you saw. Welcome to the battle that is truly being fought.
Ooh, so come with your respect and see the real effect. Cause I protect my own right here on the throne. Don't make me envy. Unleash the dragon.
Subscribe, ring that notification bell. Yeah, you don't wanna miss a thing. Welcome to the family.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden. I'm back with another live for today, y'all. Happy Sunday to everybody. And guess what? It is Super Bowl Sunday. So that's pretty exciting. I know that the game is just around the corner. It is 4:10 p.m. here, Eastern Time in the Carolinas in the United States. And you know, child, it's cold outside. We already knew that. So I ain't been out there. But anyway, I hope you all are having a good day and a good Sunday wherever you are. And y'all might be tapping into and checking into the game. I know a lot of people like to watch that Sunday night football, and the Super Bowl is a big event. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about a few topics before the game starts, y'all. Some that actually are related to said Super Bowl. So let me go ahead and get into a brief synopsis of what we'll be talking about on this live. Okay, it is Super Bowl Sunday, like I said, and while the world is watching the game tonight, we are also watching the state of our union. We are going to be praying tonight, praying for the safety of every fan, every player, and especially Bad Bunny. We are praying that tonight is about excellence and culture, not the intimidation and fear that some people in power are trying to spread. We are in the heart also of Black History Month. This is our time to celebrate our brilliance and our survival, but we also have to be sober minded. We are seeing a mask off moment in this country, from disgusting AI videos to policies designed to delete progress. The attacks coming from the top, but we will not be discouraged by them. Tonight, well, this evening, we're going to be talking about the racism we're up against, but we're also going to be talking about how we're winning. We stand with all minorities, every immigrant, and every person being targeted. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. So, one of the first things we'll be covering, of course, since the game is just around the corner, we'll be talking about Bad Bunny versus the threat at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny is supposed to be headlining the halftime show tonight. After his bold ice out speech at the Grammys last week, Trump and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem have been hostile, with Noem even threatening that ICE will be all over the event. This is pure intimidation. They're trying to turn a global celebration of a Latino culture into a site of fear. We are praying for a safe, powerful show tonight, or game tonight, and show. Bad Bunny isn't performing. He's representing the resilience of people who refuse to be silenced by threats of deportation. We're also going to get into Hakeem Jeffries and how he had blasted the disgusting AI video as well from Trump. Trump recently shared a vile AI generated video depicting President Obama, Barack, and Michelle as apes. Minority leader Hakeem Jeffries didn't mince words, calling Trump an unhinged bottom feeder. He pointed out that this isn't just trolling. It's a calculated attempt to dehumanize, y'all, the most successful Black family in American history. During Black History Month, they want to remind us of the old tropes. We have to call it what it is. It is vile racism. We also are going to be getting into Representative Jasmine Crockett, and she speaks on this as well, claiming that it's in the policy. Representative Crockett is warning the world that we can't just focus on the offensive videos. She says the racism is in his bones. It's in his policy. Whether it's attacking DEI or pushing for mass deportations, the goal is to dismantle the equity we fought for since the civil rights movement. Don't just watch the screen. Pay attention to the legislation. We also will hear some from Representative Al Green and the impeachment shop. Representative Al Green just delivered a powerful floor speech, arguing that these racist attacks are a violation of the high standards required for presidency. He is standing up on what others are too quiet to say, proving that we still have warriors in DC willing to demand accountability for hate. And In final news, we will end with a triumph with the Louisiana surge. This is the most important part, I believe, of the broadcast. This is a proof of power. Yesterday, on February 7th, the Louisiana special primary elections took place. In the House District of 97, we saw a massive victory as Ed Murray won the seat outright with over 52% of the vote. We have two more critical races in Senate District 3 and House District 100, moving to the runoffs as well, meaning the fight is alive and the momentum is ours. Despite the GOP trying to suppress the vote by switching to closed primaries for certain races, the Democratic turnout surged anyway. They tried to change the rules in Louisiana to keep us out, but we showed up. When they go low with AI videos, we just go to the polls. This is a triumphant win for the people, and it shows that the tide is turning. But we are taking those positions back one seat at a time. So, y'all, on this live, I'm going to go ahead and get into a few of these videos to show y'all. For the first one that I want to play for y'all, none other than Reese Waters, right? One of my favorites. And so he's going to go ahead and break down everything as far as covering information and exactly just what is going on with Bad Bunny. Now, y'all know that Bad Bunny is Hispanic. And so we know that there's been a clear target on Hispanic people within this administration in this ICE operation. And so he has been scheduled to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. He also won a Grammy, and during his Grammy speech, he spoke out and said exactly what he felt about ICE on the ground. He said, ICE out. And so we're going to, because he's just speaking up for what's right. And do we feel as though this may happen on Super Bowl night? I hope and pray that nothing happens. But we have seen so many proofs of just clear racism in this country. It's hard for us to turn a blind eye to it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video from none other than Reese Waters, okay? He's going to break everything down for us. And as usual, I will meet y'all in the chat as we listen together. Let's get into it.
Hey, Bad Bunny, we got a request. Like last year, Kendrick did not like us. Like we got a request from the audience.
I will go for Donald Trump.
All right, well, even I'll get up for that one. Even I'll get up for that one. And I ain't got up for a halftime performer. Well, since last year, it's been like 365 days since I got up for a halftime performer. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I'm Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Now, there I was sorting through my NFL jerseys for what owners weren't in the Epstein files. Come on, NFL. If you was gonna rig the Super Bowl, at least make it Epstein free. Y'all killing me with this. When I see this, oh, it's the Turning Point USA halftime show. Why would you assume Kid Rock is in it? They've been planning this for months. You think they're gonna throw out Kid Rock because they couldn't get nobody better after publicly complaining all across the timeline throughout most of last year? The lineup for the All-American halftime show is here. Watch Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett this Sunday.
Straight rock and roll, no Rogaine in the propane flow. The chosen one, I'm the living proof.
Let me guess. He gonna do this song, ain't he? Let me guess. Yeah. No, I agree with the commenter. No amount of hatred for Puerto Rican musicians should make you pretend this is good. Not even MAGA Fest looked that bad.
All of them can go at this point. They're all literally MAGA, Trump supporting, racist, losers, anti-black. It's disgusting.
Ludacris gonna be like, what's your fantasy? And the audience finna be like a white ethno state. He gonna yell, how low can you go? And they gonna answer fascism, segregation, $2.50. Huh? No, $2.50. That's how low they got layaway plans. Rock the Country 2026. Sign up now for pre-sale that starts Friday, January 16th. Layaway plans available for all ticket types start at $2.50 down. $2.50. That should have been enough for y'all to drop out right there. I mean, man, that should have been enough for y'all to drop out right there. Y'all let them put you under Gavin Adcock for the MAGA Fest with pre-sale starting at $2.50. What y'all need to see? I got a bag of rap snacks cost more than the layaway pre-sale for MAGA Fest. That's a lie. I don't have any bags of rap snacks. I refuse. Cause of y'all, cause I see how y'all move. That's why I refuse. I don't know which one of y'all gonna turn MAGA next. It's like whack-a. Are they selling tickets for $2.50? Oh, they had to drop them from MAGA Fest after Ludacris dropped out. That makes sense. By the way, they couldn't get Nicki Minaj to perform at this? Where's Nicki? What's the point of doing all this performative stuff with Nicki Minaj if she's not going to perform on a Turning Point? Oh, it's for display purposes only? Like her gold card, their support for her is just for display purposes only? That's what I figured. Hey, they must have been listening to Joy Reid.
The other side is giddy about having Nicki Minaj, a rapper they despise, a rapper they don't respect, a rapper most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet, cuddled at Donald Trump's feet, the reason she is the new house pet is because they need, NEED, Black people to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful, powerful element in the country. Candace Owens was brought into Turning Point USA to do that, to recruit rappers, to recruit Kanye West for a reason. It's not like they like rap music, but they needed Candace to do that. Well, Candace has gone off the field. She's no longer playing ball. So since Candace isn't playing ball, they need a new Candace. So they tried Amber Rose, but Amber Rose is not popular enough with Black people and also says she isn't Black. So that didn't really work. They moved on to their next gambit, which is Chip doesn't care about the killing of Trinidad fishermen, the rapper who hates the female rapper who hates other female rappers, who hates on women who are more popular than her, Cardi B, people who are better at cultural marketing than her. She'll never be Rihanna. She'll never have a brand like Rihanna. She'll never be Beyonce. She's a 40-something-year-old Black female rapper who clearly don't care that much about Black people or immigrants, even though she was an undocumented immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nicki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little Barbs can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it, be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody Black.
Yo. So Joy Reid went off, like she went all the way off with that statement. But I'm telling you, like, for real, can we sit here and say that what she said is not true? I'm just curious what y'all think. I mean, look, this whole turnaround with Nicki, like, it has devastated so many. And the people that it really has devastated are actually the people, the main people that had put money in her pockets for years by showing up to her concerts, buying her CDs, supporting her, buying her perfume. And I've had some of Nicki Minaj's perfume before. It don't smell that good. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I bought some, and guess where I got it, y'all? City Trends. They had it for cheap, very cheap. Yeah, because I like to get a good deal. I ain't gonna spend too much money on certain things. Perfume is just something, it smells good. I love to have it on my body, but I'm not gonna spend too much for it. So when I can find it on discount at the City Trends or the Ross or something like that, that's where I'm gonna get it from. And yeah, I smell some of her perfume. It doesn't add up to Rihanna's fragrance. But anyway, Joy wasn't lying. Like she said, child, at the end, that part was so funny for me. I think I'm gonna have to run it back real quick because I'm just like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. But Joy keeps it all the way real. I love her for that. And they couldn't handle that. They can't handle the real. When you're real and you got the juice, you got the sauce, and you tell it just like it is, depending on where you work, where you at, what platforms and people you got to tap dance for, they start getting uncomfortable, so they kick you out. I am so happy to see that Joy Reid is now doing her own podcast. She has her own platform, her own voice, and trust me, all of the people who have loved Joy when she was over on the network, they have followed her now to her independent space and place. That's why you always got to bet on yourself, because people like you for you, how you do it, how you say it, how you bring it, and who you are. Your juice that you got, that's what people really gravitate towards. And so you always bet on yourself. But anyway, let me run that back real quick. What did she say? What she say?
Shit, and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new Canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nicki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little Barbs can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it? Be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody black to be the face, to put blackface on MAGA. And they know that cultural cool matters. That's why they're doing it. I'm done.
It's gonna be a difficult day in that household when those facts land. It really is. I mean, I don't know that there's not a difficult day in that household. More difficult. It's going to be a more difficult day in that. No, ain't no takebacks. Ain't no takebacks.
I wanted to ask about Nicki Minaj, because she's like, very in the news these days. Has like, you're doing a face right now.
We don't mess with Nicki.
You don't mess with Nicki?
No, we don't mess with Nicki.
Did you used to mess with her?
Oh, of course. I mean, you had to, but I will be clear. I have always loved Cardi more.
Okay.
And clearly my instincts were right to love on Cardi more than Nicki.
Totally. So you kind of flipped on her. What was the moment you decided that I just can't anymore?
I just don't do sellouts, especially in this moment, right? Like things are too serious. There are too many people that are being harmed. And especially with her being an immigrant, then deciding to go and cozy up to this administration that is specifically putting targets on the backs of immigrants and anyone who stands with them. Even if they're U.S. citizens, they can catch a bullet. That is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even understand how you can play with it and pretend like it's anything but wrong.
Why do you think she's doing it then?
Listen, I don't know if it's because she looking for some papers for some people, or if she's looking for them other papers. Because, I hear that she got family members that's got a few little issues, right? And so maybe she needs them other papers because he love to hand those out, usually at a cost, right? But going after people like Don Lemon, who I love dearly, just wrong. Like she's just on the wrong side of history. So I hope that people remember all of this when she comes back and she's broke and she's begging for money and support, because something tells me MAGA ain't gonna do it for her.
Now, MAGA, y'all sat up there and talked for months complaining about Bad Bunny performing on the halftime show. Remember English Only? Remember English Only? Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't even last long enough to make it to the game when she was out here trying to protest Bad Bunny. That's crazy. She went out like the Kansas City Chiefs, thinking they making Super Bowl plans and you get packed up. She didn't even make it to the playoffs. She didn't even, She more like the Atlanta Falcons because she's from Georgia? No, I don't think the Atlanta Falcons had any hopes of making it to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that shit been passed.
Hold on, bro. What you doing? I'm finna talk, man. I'm finna talk. What's going on, bro? I'm sorry, hell, man.
Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl has white people in a fucking tizzy. I've seen take after take of people insinuating that Bad Bunny is not American and that we need real Americans to perform at the Super Bowl. But if you had no problem with Coldplay, you have no problem with Paul McCartney, but you have a problem with Bad Bunny, that just means you're racist.
Remember when y'all was out here celebrating because ICE was going to be patrolling? Y'all acted like it was some sort of dragnet to have Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Remember that?
Bad Bunny was selected as the Super Bowl halftime performer.
Yep.
This is an individual who is anti-ICE, who's anti-immigration, says he refuses to tour in America because of that. The NFL is sending a message, presumably, to MAGA, to the Trump administration, by choosing this anti-ICE, anti-immigration enforcement performer. He's scared to perform in America because he's worried that ICE will have enforcement at his concerts. That's what he said in multiple interviews. What is your message to the NFL? What is your message to Bad Bunny? Will there be ICE enforcement at the Super Bowl?
There will be, because the Department of Homeland Security is responsible for keeping it safe. So I have the responsibility for making sure everybody goes to the Super Bowl, has the opportunity to enjoy it and to leave, and that's what America is about. So yeah, we'll be all over that place. And we're going to enforce the law. So I think people should not be coming to the Super Bowl unless they're law-abiding Americans who love this country.
It's so shameful that they've decided to pick somebody who just seems to hate America so much to represent them at the halftime. If there are illegal aliens, I don't care if it's a concert for Johnny Smith or Bad Bunny or anybody else, we're going to do enforcement everywhere because we're going to make Americans safe. That is a directive from the president. And if you're in this country legally, do yourself a favor, go home, we'll buy you the plane ticket, get out of the country, and you'll have a chance to come back legally.
Remember when y'all were out here protesting because Bad Bunny wasn't an American? Remember that? I remember that.
Hey, did you guys hear Bad Bunny is doing the NFL halftime show? Can't wait to see ICE arrest him on stage. Looks like the NFL set it up so we all get to watch it during the halftime show.
Oh, the days of America First, where y'all poke your chest out before you knew the truth about your president. Yeah. Apparently, Venezuela and Greenland get to be America First as well. Oh, the more we know. How about that? I wonder what made them fall back. They fell back from the English only, and we should have known because that wasn't going to be the King's English. We knew it wasn't going to be the King's English because I have seen the rhetoric when y'all get together, and I can't even add subtitles. Like I have no idea what's going on.
He was awarded the Bronze Star and the Combat Infantryman Badge. Heroin alone, if you look at the heroin epidemic, last year alone, ICE officers removed 10,000 known or suspected gang members.
And to delegitimize heart, lung, and liver transplants.
And his daughter Laura at a reception for the Italian. And we are reclaiming our noble heritage. Companies are really big beneficiaries.
So it definitely couldn't have been the language. I wonder what made them fall back from all of the ICE stuff. Like what happened, man?
What the fuck are we doing here? Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. I don't give a damn if this is outside of decorum. People are dying on our streets every single day in this country because we allow this federal government to walk all over you. Look me in the eye. Can any one of you go home to your children and tell them that you did everything you could to protect their classmates, to protect their grandparents, to protect them? I don't think you can, with the exception of Park. Thank you. This needs to have happened 2 months ago, but you can still make it up and make every single policy on this little sheet of paper here happen right now, happen before the Super Bowl, happen before potentially hundreds of masked men come into our city and kill people. I am disgusted by each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilmember Park, that you have not done something more. You need to affirm that no city resources will go to ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. You need to affirm to the country, to the world, that you are not cowards. Because as of right now, I stand in front of a council of cowards. And if you do not act, you're not just cowards, you are traitors. Traitors to each and every individual you serve. To each and every individual that lives in this country, legal or not.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I know MAGA is childish, but they not that childish. I can't. And plus, if we was in that world, MAGA would be like, no, not the Joker, because the Joker actually has some good forward-thinking thoughts. I was thinking like maybe a penguin, just based on the stature. They maybe be like a penguin. Riddler, they can be funny if you don't take them seriously. They definitely can be funny. I don't know. You know what I mean? MAGA's they more like Mr. Freeze. They don't really like to change and move.
Please show some mercy.
Mercy? I'm afraid that the condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
Bay Area officials don't expect ICE surge tied to Super Bowl. Well, we can't trust Bay Area officials. They 49er fans. They liable to believe anything. They probably think next year is their year. ICE not running immigration operations at Super Bowl venue. What? No. Well, how are they going to get that past the MAGAs that was out here celebrating the big dragnet that was supposed to happen? No. ICE quietly bails on Super Bowl as outrage grows. Outrage? Huh. Not outrage, you say? You mean like the kind of response from the public to the Turning Point USA halftime show? Like that kind of outrage, or like the response from legitimate musical artists when they were asked to perform with Kid Rock at the Turning Point USA halftime show, like that kind of outrage, or like the outrage from MAGAs when you ask them to pay $2.50 to put a MAGA Fest ticket on layaway, like that kind of outrage, or like the outrage from MAGA when they find out you spent the $2.50 to put the MAGA Fest ticket on layaway to go see the Melania movie. Outrage. A Fox News poll conducted January 23rd through the 26th found that 59% of registered voters believe ICE has been too heavy-handed, up 10 points from July of last year. The survey also showed 55% disapprove of Trump's handling of immigration. The poll had a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points. The Fox News poll, if the Fox News poll said 59% disapprove, the real number got to be somewhere near 300. I mean, they got to be. If that's what Fox News is talking about, man, that's nuts. Hey, what did Fox News have to say about all the Epstein revelations? We still wait. They still vetting. They must be. That's why I told you, if they said 59, the real number, 300 is conservative. That is conservative. MAGA, I can't imagine this going any worse. But somehow it managed to. MAGA complained about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. They said, okay, fine, I'll give you some white people, and chose Green Day to perform at the opening ceremony. You gotta be an American idiot to think that Green Day was coming to rescue y'all. I mean, y'all don't never take the long view. They never take the long view. I can tell you this, when they find out, they're gonna be a basket case.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are slipping into into fascism. Donald Trump and his administration is a fascist government.
This is 1 year after Kendrick Lamar's iconic Super Bowl performance, which I have an intense breakdown pinned on my page. It's my most viewed video on my entire account, where this entire performance was extremely political and they performed it directly in front of Trump. He was at the game. And if they think that the Super Bowl halftime performance with Bad Bunny is what they need to be worried about, now that this is announced, they have an entire nother situation on their hands. Because giving Billy Joel Armstrong the microphone at the opening of the ceremony of the Super Bowl is the craziest thing that you could do in this political climate right now. I'm screaming, and Green Day fans are going to be losing their minds because we know what's coming.
MAGA, y'all okay? Y'all okay? You done lost Ice. You got Bad Bunny performing, Green Day opening. Y'all driving the boulevard of broken dreams right now. That's nuts. Hey, keep trolling them. What more y'all got in the bag? MAGA fans call for Super Bowl halftime show boycott as Bad Bunny, quote, set to wear dress. Hey, he should have a dress that just says DEI on it. How about that? Let's just drive them nuts. MAGA, how does this work? You set to boycott again? Is this your third triple down boycott? You boycotting because it's Bad Bunny. You boycotting because he speaks Spanish. You boycotting because Jay-Z's involved. And you boycotting because you went into. It's just, how does the triple down boycott work? Oh, you think this was a peace offering to MAGA? Him wearing drag? That's right. We do have that JD. That's right. JD did do that. That's y'all's mans. That's y'all's mans. Bad Bunny's not wearing a dress at the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm sorry to disappoint you, MAGAs. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was just trolling y'all. Well, I can tell you this. Most of y'all had already levied your boycott. It's not like you come out after he said he not wearing a dress and then that precipitates your boycott, because that would look bad. Donald Trump is refusing to attend the Super Bowl this year due to the NFL selection of Bad Bunny as the halftime show performer, saying all he does is sow hatred. Trump is refusing to go to the Super Bowl in the same way that I refused to go to prom my junior year. I knew they was gonna boo me. I knew they was gonna boo me. I had just blown the JV game. I knew they was gonna boo me, and so I didn't show up. Is this what it is? This is the preemptive. I'm not gonna go because he's so hatred. And also, if I go, they're going to boo me. If they booed me that bad at the Commanders game, and the Commanders ain't win but 3-4 games, they booed me that bad. They took time out of their day to stop booing the Commanders and booed me.
Support and defend the Constitution of the United States. All enemies.
I can't imagine what would happen in the Super Bowl.
In an individual sport, what an honor for her.
There's the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and his wife, Usha. Ooh, those are a lot of boos for him. Whistling, jeering, some applause.
The guy who wasn't invited to the party confirms he's not going. What he really means is he doesn't want to be humiliated again by 75,000 people booing him. Hey, Trump, look on the bright side. The Super Bowl is generally the most watched event of any year. You could be a part of that. Say the most watched event of 2026 was all the fans booing Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Put that plaque on your wall, right by the Obama one. I thought Trump wasn't attending because ICE would detain and deport Melania if they showed up. Bad Bunny is more American than the First Lady. That's a good point. That's actually a fair point. Yeah. We don't discuss that nearly enough as we should.
Talk about it, Reese. Okay. A lot of people are not discussing that as much as they should, right? Because it's just all willy-nilly when it comes to some individuals whose names and appearances have been repeated and repeated and repeated in some of these said files that's coming out, not to mention photos, which some photos are being withheld, and we know that, and they're going to come out soon enough. We'll see them all. I like how they're trying to put out a certain file of photos and stuff right now to support a certain narrative towards the individual that they are targeting right now. We know who that is, and I'm not going to speak on that on this live. That's a conversation for another live and another report. But we've seen it. If y'all have been watching, y'all have been seeing what has been coming out, y'all know what it is. Okay. But yeah, have not heard much about Hillary being in the Epstein files, but we have heard a lot about Melania being in the Epstein files with conversations and hangouts and meet and greets and, you know, all of those type of things. So anyway, like I said, that's another conversation for another live. This one, we're talking about a specific thing. Okay, so we know that it is Super Bowl Sunday, and like I said, we are praying for peace, but we also have to expose this hate and this racism, because like I was saying and a lot of other people were saying and screaming to the top of our lungs, that racism does still exist in this world. And me being a U.S. citizen, we're talking about the United States right now, it does still, we still have racism in this country. Okay. And you will have these people sit up here and say, there is no racism in the United States, because a lot of people will believe and feed into that because it has been sold to people and to the world that the United States is a melting pot. And there's a lot of different races of people and different colors and hues of people and backgrounds of people that do reside here in this country. But just because we are all here doesn't mean that we all get treated fair, that we are liked or cared about, or we get treated the same, or we're not hated or disliked. So you can all gather in a space, but however somebody's going to feel about you is how they're going to feel about you. That is what it is. And so now that the rugs have been pulled up, okay, they've been pulled back, and all of the nasty little dirty details and the real deep down gripeful feelings that these people have, that they have had, that never really went anywhere. They just were probably, you know, swept under the rug. Now it's all coming out. It's all playing out, and we are seeing it. And there is no shame in the game, okay? Before, it used to be subtle. They used to try to tinker and sprinkle a little bit of the small, you know, issues that they had with other races of people, real minuscule. But now, child, it's full-fledged. It is full-fledged, okay? And so if we're not seeing that for what it is, I don't know what to tell you. We just got to pay attention to what's being said, what's being done, what we hear, right? What we witness with our bare eyes, what we hear with our bare ears. It's there. That's how they feel. That's what they think. And when we compare it to how things used to be back in the day, child, it don't seem like it has really changed much. Let's take a quick song break, y'all, and we'll be right back.
Whoa. they drag us from the coast. Middle passage madness, where we lost the most. Packed in hoes like cargo, spirits in a cage. Built a brand new nation, lived a life of rage, yeah. We were the property, the 3/5 compromise. Picked the cotton, built the White House with our hands inside. And they watered all the poplar trees with our blood and cries. Yeah, you know what they were for beneath the southern skies. That strange fruit hanging message of their hate. A simple wrong look was enough to seal your fate. To my brown kin, they just stole it, called it manifest. Killed the Aztecs, stole the planes, put them to the west. Good old days, the signs on the wall. They want us broken, silent, waiting for the call. They wanna push us backwards, drag us down to hell, but we ain't going back, not going back. We ain't going back. We ain't going back. We ain't going back. Let's talk about a word. Let's talk about a word. See how it sticks. 6 letters, COLORED to politics. Not a person, just a label, just a shade on a chart. A legal way to tear a whole damn race apart. Colored water fountain, colored waiting room, colored entrance round the back, a social living tomb. Jim Crow was the law, man. Segregation was the tool. Taught a child to hate his own skin before he went to school. And it ain't just here, that's the global view. Apartheid, colonization, yeah, they did it there too. That word was a weapon, a boot on the neck to say you live, you die, you move at our check. They want the good old days, the signs on the wall. They want us broken, silent, waiting for the call. They wanna push us backwards, drag us down to hell, but we ain't going back. 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 Don't you dare say it's repeating. It never stops. They just got new suits, new slogans, new cops. They ban the books that tell the truth of Act 1. They call a protest riot soon as the marching's done. They tell us get over it, it wasn't us. While they build the same systems of them and us. Gerrymander the district, choke the money from the school. Praise the good old days while they fill the modern jails. This is the warning, this is the last thing. We learned your lessons, now we understand. We are the children of the ones you couldn't break. We are the dream that you could never ever take. We are the fire you tried to douse with ice. We paid the cost, we ain't gon' pay it twice. You want us back in chains, you want us on our knees. We'd rather die right here standing on our feet. This ain't a threat, this is a promise we fulfill. We ain't ever going back. Oh, yeah. It's us here. You start to say we ain't going back. We ain't going back there. We'll fight you tooth and nail.
Also to be considered, maybe they just don't want Melania to appear in public after she done got all the MAGA's money to go see her documentary. Maybe she just probably want to lay low now.
Trump says, I won't be attending this year's Super Bowl. It's the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny and Green Day. Don't nobody give a hot scoop whether you pulling up or not. We could care less that your punk ass is not going to the Super Bowl. Who cares? You got bigger fish to fry anyway. You got a whole fish fry crab boil going on in Minnesota. We don't give a damn if you going to the Super Bowl. And for this petty ass reason. Now I get it. Green Day be throwing your ass on the grill. Green Day be throwing your ass on the grill. So I get it. But you just hating on Bad Bunny. You just hating. He from Puerto Rico. That's the U.S. You are the pettiest president of all time. Now, I don't know how they was rolling those little old funny looking presidents that's on the dollar bills and such. I don't know how they was rolling on the day to day, but you in my lifetime are the pettiest president I have ever seen in my goddamn 48 years of existence. You are too petty a human being to be the president of the United States. You got us looking crazy. the world over with your petty, egotistical bullshit, dog. Don't go to the Super Bowl. We don't want your red tie having ass in there to begin with, man. Sick of you, dog. Hurry up with these 3 years.
And meanwhile, Bad Bunny is having himself a moment. MAGA? How you like them tostones?
Bad Bunny didn't even step on the Super Bowl stage yet, and history was already made. One teaser, one post, and millions of people stopped scrolling. Here's what's confirmed. No fluff, just facts. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime teaser has officially become the most liked Super Bowl teaser ever posted on Instagram. It surpassed previous teasers from global superstars, setting a new benchmark before the performance even happens. And that matters because this moment goes beyond music. Bad Bunny represents Puerto Rico, one of the biggest stages in the world. From Spanish first lyrics to Caribbean rhythm to unapologetic cultural pride, this is visibility on a global scale. Millions engaging with one post, signaling something bigger than fandom. It shows how Puerto Rico culture is shaping global entertainment in real time, and now the spotlight is locked in. Here's the question I bring forth to the table for open discussion. What does it mean for Puerto Rico when one artist can move the world before the show even begins?
Hey, Bad Bunny, we got a request. Like last year, Kendrick did not like us. Like we got a request from the audience. Bad Bunny needs to sing this bop one good time at the Super Bowl for the Hispanics for Trump in the back. All right, well, even I'll get up for that one. Even I'll get up for that one. And I ain't got up for a halftime performer. Well, since last year. It's been like 365 days since I got up for a halftime performer. I'll definitely get up for that, though. And Bad Bunny, you definitely know how to close.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are Americans. Also, I want to say to the people, I know it's tough to know, not to hate on these days. And I was thinking, sometime we get contaminados. I don't know how to say that in English. The hate get more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love. So, please, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. We don't hate them. We love our people, we love our family, and that's the way to do it, with love. Don't forget that, please. Thank you.
Ooh, he had me clutching my mofongo. He definitely did. That's the nastiest read I've seen this week. Well, next to Kaya.
Gag water, they've been sending all kind of shit on your motherfucking ass, and all I can say is, oh, Nika, oh, hell no. What's all of this about? Now she swallowed for nothing, lost all her fans for nothing, career is gone for nothing, and she's trying to bring Jay-Z down to the ground, and we know he's a thief and a rogue, and that he's tired, and he's through it. Girl, what you think you gonna do? How you think you gonna single-handedly bring him down? You didn't know if this was about a RICO charge you wanted to put out on Jay-Z, if you was trying to get your immigration while you've been sucking ass over there at the White House.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially thank you for all your fantastic.
So that Kaya part at the end took me out, yo. Kaya be going in for real. Like she say what we all be thinking for real. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the next video. So the next one I'm gonna play for y'all, Hakeem Jeffries. He had a lot to say. And again, this whole live is basically really exposing and showing the racism that we have in this country, but not just from this country, directly from our president of the United States. And it is something that a lot of people have known for years as people from New York, right? Back when him and his father had all of those properties in New York, and they didn't want to rent to certain people because of the race, because they were Black, maybe even Hispanic. We can't be sure. But there was, they was not trying to rent to certain people for race issues. Okay, so it all started there, and we know that that was back in the early back in the 80s, 90s. And a lot of things that Trump has done and said, and how he moves and he operates, it is very clear that this man he has a issue with other people from other races. And I just don't know at what point they got fooled about that. Like they're like, oh, no, he's not racist. Because I heard when all of the running was happening, I heard all of the TikTok videos. I heard all of the people speaking out saying Trump is cool. He's not a racist person. He down for the Black community. Really? Interesting. Do y'all feel that way now still? Do y'all still feel that way like right now in this moment? Anyway, let's keep it pushing because I know the Super Bowl game is coming up and people got to watch it. So let me move this right on along. But yeah, let's hear from Hakeem Jeffries. He's keeping it all the way 100 as well. He has some things to say about a lot of this. And remember, y'all, this is Black History Month. Not that Black history should just be 1 month, right? That we should only feel as though we have 28 days to talk about the history, the beauty, the strength, the resilience of a certain race of people. And if any other race have just a month to celebrate their existence as well. No, we celebrate it every day, all day. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. That's how I feel. But anyway, let's get into this video. Hakeem Jeffries. Let's hear what he got to say.
Posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country.
Joining us now is House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Leader Jeffries, we appreciate you coming on, especially after we see what the president's done in this important conversation. People that know you, people like us who have reported on you, have met you before, see you as like a measured person, right? So I think a lot of people may have been surprised by the video that you sent out, right? And surprised in that he got you all the way there, that at the end of the day, the president of the United States said all these things, and it is forcing kind of all of us to think about the ways in which we react to those things. What does it mean for the United States to have a president who not only posts racist things, whose policies have racist undertones, and who lies about it, and his team lies about it over and over again, even though we can see what they posted?
Well, his behavior is disgusting, and the response has been disgusting. And so, of course, everyday Americans, myself included, are disgusted by it all. And I felt compelled to communicate that in the most clear-throated way possible. Mm-hmm. Now, the president right now should own up to his mistake. He should apologize. And perhaps most importantly, he should pledge to do better. I mean, we should be bringing the country together. Instead, this guy continues to try to tear us apart. And there's no justification for it. And his behavior, of course, is unacceptable, it's unconscionable, and it's un-American.
You called it a mistake, leader. And I wonder if you do think it was a mistake, or do you think President Trump is a racist?
Well, I think, listen, from the standpoint of it being a mistake, it was a mistake as it relates to the notion that you would post something like this, a racist video targeting President Obama and Michelle Obama, both of whom are incredible, patriotic, compassionate Americans. As I've indicated, the best of what this country is all about. He continues to go after them and target them in ways that are unexplainable, other than the fact that he's just jealous and envious of their success, their eloquence, their brilliance, and their professionalism, the exact opposite of the manner in which he conducts himself.
The leader, do you believe that Donald Trump is a racist?
Well, what I've said about the president is, look, if the guy is not a racist, he's certainly doing the best job that he can trying to convince us otherwise as it relates to his behavior and the manner in which he's conducted himself repeatedly for decades.
Leader Jeffries, you are also in the midst of negotiations with regards to funding the Department of Homeland Security. It could lead to a partial government shutdown. You have 1 week left to figure that out. But it seems like any sort of deal is contingent on negotiations between you, Leader Schumer's, and the president himself. I'm wondering personally what it is like for you to have to negotiate with someone who you might not say is racist explicitly, but espouses these kinds of racist views.
Well, listen, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we've got to put the American people first. And what we have right now in front of us is a situation where ICE is clearly out of control and they need to be reined in. Taxpayer dollars, of course, should be used to make life more affordable for the American people, not to brutalize and kill them, as we've seen in Minneapolis with the killings in cold blood of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Freddie. And so immigration enforcement in this country should be just, it should be fair, and it should be humane. That's not what's taking place right now on the streets of the United States of America. And so as a result, what we need to have happen is dramatic reform related to the Department of Homeland Security. And Leader Schumer and I, on behalf of House and Senate Democrats, we've laid out 10 points that need to be addressed, including mandatory body cameras, judicial warrant requirements, masks need to come down. We need accountability so that state and local elected officials are able to investigate and prosecute violations of the law by ICE agents and others acting in concert with them. And so I'm going to approach this discussion as it relates to, there's a clear set of demands. These changes need to be enacted. We're not going to accept a my way or the highway approach. The status quo is unacceptable, and we need bold, meaningful change.
Leader, could you lay out for the public what they should expect from this next week? Understanding that Leader Thune over on the Senate side said the Republican conference would not get behind these 10 demands. Number one, how many conversations have you had with President Trump here in the year of 2026 so far? And do you anticipate or desire to have any conversations directly with him over the next 5-6 days?
I have not had a single conversation with Donald Trump or anyone at a high level at the White House during 2026, which to me shows their lack of seriousness as it relates to this issue. It's clear to me that Donald Trump and the Republicans, they want to shut down FEMA. They want to shut down the Coast Guard. They want to shut down TSA and the other parts of DHS that serve the American people because they're uninterested in reining ICE in. They're uninterested in getting this agency, which is so clearly out of control, to conduct themselves like every other law enforcement agency in the country, as opposed to brutalizing the American people, which is what is horrifying everyday Americans. So as we move forward, we continue to maintain, we'll talk to anyone, anytime, any place, when it comes to solving problems, meeting the moment, and addressing the challenges of the American people. That would be the president, that would be the relevant cabinet officials, and of course, that means my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. But we're not going to accept any kind of my way or the highway approach. We need dramatic change at DHS, period, full stop.
Leader Jeffries, also this week, the Epstein files that has continued to beleaguer this president has continued to be something that the American people want answers on. In Congress, there's some upcoming depositions on February 9th. Ghislaine Maxwell is going to testify February 26th, Hillary Clinton, February 27th, Bill Clinton. Richard Kahn is on March 11th. He's a co-executive of the Epstein estate, the other co-executive of the estate, Darren Endyke, on March 19th. You are the leader. I assume you're talking to the folks that will be having these conversations with them. What are Democrats looking to gain in these conversations, both from the folks that are on the Epstein side, but also the, President Bill Clinton, who is in quite a few photos with Epstein?
Well, the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, Robert Garcia, and the Oversight Committee Dems will continue to take the lead on this issue. But collectively, what we're trying to achieve is transparency and accountability. Those are the demands that have so courageously been made by the Epstein survivors. And those are the demands that we are trying to bring to life, because that's the American way. And the question for the administration will continue to be, what are you hiding from the American people, and who are you protecting? This was a horrible situation that should never be allowed to happen again. And one of the ways to make sure that that happens, that occurs, that we don't see this ever happen again in the United States of America, is for there to be transparency and accountability. That also means releasing the other 3 million documents that the Department of Justice continue to hide from the American people.
Leader, as you're well aware, calling in former President Bill Clinton is setting a pretty remarkable precedent. Do you think that your cohorts who are leading the House Oversight Committee and the House Judiciary Committee should move to call in President Trump to testify? After all, he is mentioned thousands of times throughout the Epstein files.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we can't take seriously what James Comer and the Republicans on the other side of the aisle are doing as it relates to trying to get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, which has been the objective of Democrats and a handful of Republicans every step of the way. We should hear from President Trump about what he knows. If they're demanding that Bill Clinton come in, if they're demanding that Secretary Hillary Clinton come in, and they have no connection that they can point to related to why she should be brought into Congress, and now these people are actually refusing to have that testimony be public, which the Clintons are saying they prefer, which again exposes the fact that our Republicans are just trying to distract the American people as it relates to what may be in those files, and the culpability and connection and accountability to rich and powerful people, including, but certainly not limited to, the President of the United States.
All right, y'all. So y'all just heard Hakeem Jeffries, he's speaking out on this as well. A lot of people are speaking out on this. It's something that you just can't sit there and hear and bear witness to and act like it is not a thing. Okay. And there has been so much prior that we have seen and heard to allude to the fact that a lot of these people within this administration, Trump himself, and again, I will speak just for myself, not for anybody else. In my personal opinion, I do believe that he is a racist. And I believe that a lot of people in this administration are racist as well. And I believe we see a lot of things playing out and moving the way they are due to that said racism. And I don't know, like when you see things in clear view right in front of you, are you supposed to ignore it and act like that's not what it is and that's not why it's happening? Or do you see it for what it really is and call it out when you see it? We can't be sure. However people choose to move and operate or whatever's comfortable to them, that is up to them. But I'm somebody who's always going to call it out. I see it for what it is. I know it. I've been seeing it. I know when I see it. I know when I smell it. I know when I feel it. I know when I hear it. I know what it is. Okay? How disgusting. And just imagine all of this happening, and within February, it's supposed to be Black History Month. You think this is just a coincidence? I think not. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick song break. After the song break, y'all don't leave me yet. We got to hear from Representative Jasmine Crockett. She has some really great things to say as well, and y'all know how much I love her and support her. So we're going to get into that in just a minute, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this song break, and I'll be right back.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let it ring out loud. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea, like the mighty waters. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. We remember it all. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Hope is alive, yeah. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on. Let's keep marching till victory is won. Stony the road we trod. Bitter the casting ain't right, but we're still here.
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier in the hour about how all of this happened 6 days into Black History Month, and the complete and lack disregard for how this month resonates with Black and brown people in this country. What's your reaction to both what you heard from the president and from Leader Jeffries? Just because they both framed, I think, this moment very well, to be honest.
Yeah, you know, it is so interesting because it's like we take one step forward and then we take 2 steps back. And that's exactly what we've gotten out of this administration. And so for everyone that wanted to say that Black people were overreacting or that we were being dramatic, I want to be clear that it's not just his words, it's in his policy that he is slinging this type of hate, whether we're talking about ICE and how he deals with everyone, because it's not limited to immigrants, or whether we're talking about the rolling back of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I do want to be clear. You know, I don't give Donald Trump a lot of credit for much, but I will say this. He is the king of distractions and division. And right now, he has everyone talking about the fact that he posted something that was racist, which frankly, if you've been paying attention, it was right on par. You're not surprised whatsoever.
Right.
At the same time, this is the day after he said, stop talking about the Epstein files, as more and more is coming out, as we're being told as lawmakers that we're going to be given an opportunity to start to physically go and inspect the files. He is trying to distract, and frankly, he is doing a good job of it. We know who he is. We know who he was when he got elected the first time. We know who he was when he got elected this time. And so there's not really much to be surprised about when it comes to Donald Trump and not really having a level of respect specifically for people of color.
There's a level of respect. There's also the bravery to stand behind what he has said and done. Take a look at the president of the United States dodging questions on this very issue.
you apologize for their racist video?
I won't apologize. Just walk away. Just wave. I know it doesn't surprise you.
Oh my God.
Walk away,
He's moving
old
fast,
man, walk
Congresswoman. And
away.
here's the thing that we're talking about. It's not just in the rhetoric, it's in the policy, as you said. I mean, I'm thinking about little Liam Ramos and his bunny hat and the fact that a nation has rallied around the image of this child as humanizing something that we often talk about simply in numbers. You have Trump's DHS pushing to expedite the removal of Liam and his family. What does that tell you about what their objective here and politically how they are reading this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we have to guess because they have been very overt with their words, not just Trump, but JD Vance. It has been kind of this, we don't have to hide anymore. We are the ones that are being targeted, we being white people, right? There is a lack of respect for the contributions that all of us make to this country. Whether you are Black Americans who did not arrive because we wanted to be here, but because we were dragged over here and stolen from our homeland, or whether you are immigrants that are simply seeking refuge and a better life for yourself and seeking asylum, or whether it's just a matter of opportunities, because we used to have it where we felt like contributions from other people actually helped us. And frankly, the numbers bear out that they do, whether we're talking about the contributions that are paid in taxes, whether we're talking about the contributions that overall just keep our economy going. Right now, we know that this economy is shrinking, and there's a lot of reasons that it's shrinking. But honestly, a big part of it has to do with the disastrous way that they are handling immigration. As it relates to little 5-year-old Liam, I'm sorry, but that's not who he espoused to be going after when he made his campaign promises. He said he was going to go after the bad guys. Now, those of us that know Trump well enough knew that he was lying. We knew that he would go after any and everyone. You tell me how showing up at an elementary school and grabbing the kids is going to make America great. Please explain that to me. And I want to be clear about something, because Liam has become a symbol. But just like we've seen other children be symbols, whether we're talking about integration of schools or otherwise, there are other children there. In visiting that facility, I want to be clear, there are hundreds of children, and the youngest was 1 month old. I don't know how you get to say you're so proud of the America that we are seeing on display right now. Real patriotism means to push back against this, because somehow we haven't found a jail cell for anybody in the Epstein files. But we've got children that are rotting away in something that looks like a prison to me.
Well, Jasmine said what needed to be said. Okay, and y'all know that we talked about this on some of my other lives and videos that I've done, and that's why I feel like, yeah, absolutely right. You know what I mean? We're talking about 5-year-olds. We're talking about 3 years old. We're talking about month-old babies that are being snatched. They're going to these deportation centers, is what they call them, but they move and they operate like concentration camps. And we know that there are people, and I can't say that I lived it. I didn't, or maybe my ancestors didn't, but there are people, even not within this country, that have been in countries and areas where they know what that's like. Having your family extracted from you, you being scared, having to hide in the cellar or the basement because someone's coming for you to snatch you just because of your race or your nationality, because they say that you don't fit and you don't belong. And you have your children that you're trying to protect in the best way that you can as an adult and as a parent. When they come in to snatch you, they're going to take your kids regardless, and there's nothing you can do. You can fight your way through it, but then if you're no longer here or alive, who's going to be there for your kids in the said chance that they do get free and they are actually able to get out of that circumstance? Like, all of these things to me, it's just like, historically, no, it doesn't have to just be about Black people. It's about the struggles and the things that people in general have gone through, that have experienced, and they know what that's like. Some people know, some people don't. This may be their first merry-go-round when it comes to this level of extraction and targeting. But we know there's other people in other countries of other nationalities that experience some of these same things as well. And that's why I will always say, when I talk about these things, I don't always just boo-hoo cry and say, oh, Black people are experiencing this. Oh, people in the United States are experiencing this. Because I know that there's people that are not the same ethnicity as me. And I know there's people that don't live in the same country as me, that have gone through some of these things that's similar. And if we're going to sit here and spend time weighing out the scales, who went through the worser experience based off of race or color or ethnicity or whatever, that's not going to get us anywhere. What we need to talk about is the inhumane practices that these people have, when they just don't have any type of care or love for a human life. And they will do these things to you. They will treat you like this. You're here one day and you're going the next, and they're not going to lose not one bit of sleep about it, because you don't mean anything to them. Or they don't like you. They don't care about you. They think that there's something about you that makes you different, as to which you should be below them or beneath them, and they should be above you. Whatever it is, right? This has been going on since the beginning of time. Some of it is even biblical. And yes, y'all know, because, I say, y'all know that I'm a Christian person. I read the Bible. I'm spiritual more now than religious. I don't get into all that religion anymore, because I see how that can go. But when I've read the Bible, I've seen the stories in there of how it goes. And we're seeing a lot of these things still play out to this day. 2026, so far advanced, so ahead. And you know what I mean? Technology and all of the things. But this one thing we can't seem to get right. This one thing we can't seem to nip in the bud when it comes to hate and racism in this world. And I can only speak on my country, because it's the only country I know about. Can't speak on others, but I talk to other people from other countries, and they experience those things there as well. So yes, we will say worldwide racism, hate, division, evilness, heinousness is still happening. It's still happening. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this next video, y'all. And this one is from Senator Al Green. And he is going to be delivering a speech himself, okay, about all of this. And he is going to be talking about the huge impeachment shock that Trump didn't think was coming. But people are calling for Trump to be impeached. Senators, people are in the position to do so. They see what's happening. They see what's going on. They've been calling for it for the longest time. But now, how much further can we go? Anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and get this up here for y'all. Let's watch this together. I'm going to meet y'all in the chat. And I love me some Senator Al Green, for real, because he just tell it the way it is. And you know how he remind me of like some of my uncles and stuff. Like, he just don't say it. And these things need to be said. I know they're uncomfortable, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear it. And sometimes when they're said and when they talk about, people shy away. They're scared. They don't want to listen to it. Oh, no, I don't talk about that. I don't hear about that. We need to talk about that. We need to hear about that, because this is what is happening. We keep seeing it day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. We keep seeing these things happening. We got to face it head on. Anyway, let's get into this video, y'all. I'm going to meet y'all in the chat.
Because if we don't tell our story, it won't be told. And we are here today to tell just a very small portion of our story. This is not nearly the story that has to be told. But we want people to understand that there are people who will literally leave us out of history, or they will minimize our role in history. The best example of this is Claudette Colvin. Many people don't realize that before Rosa Parks took that seat on the bus, there was a young girl who took that same seat, not the exact seat, but took that seat on the bus. And she has not received the acclaim that she richly deserved for what she did. She is the person who also filed the lawsuit that went before the courts that caused the bus line to be integrated. So let's today recognize Claudette Colvin. Her stolen legacy is going to be recognized today. Let's recognize her. And we have to protect the legacies of people that we know. This is why I have a resolution pending in Congress to protect the legacy of the Honorable Al Edwards, the father of Juneteenth. We cannot allow that to be diminished. Why have a piece of legislation in Congress to protect the legacy of the Honorable Sylvester Turner, who served us for 8 years as mayor of the city of Houston? Why have a piece of legislation to protect the legacy of the Honorable Sheila Jackson Lee, because she served us well? Why I plan to make sure that we don't ever allow ourselves to become so complacent as to believe that other people are going to write the history that we have written for ourselves. It's time for us to stand and stand with those people who made history, who made it possible for us to be here. They are the enslaved people whose lives were suffered for some 240 years to make America the country it is. Yes, America's a good country, but it's good because it had good people whose lives were sacrificed. So today, let's recognize the enslaved people. Give them the ovation that they couldn't receive in life. Give them the credit that they deserve now for the work that they did. They built the Capitol. They built the White House. They built the roads. They built the bridges. They are the people who fed the country. They planted the seeds and harvested the crops. Show them some love, please. But we also have to do something else. We've got to tell the truth about the role some other people have played in this history. We've got to tell the truth. And the truth is, there are some people who don't think too highly of us. And because they don't think too highly of us, they do dastardly deeds. I said dastardly with a D, that's not a B. And I'm going to be honest with you and tell you the truth about some of the contemporary things that are occurring that we have to deal with. We've got to deal with things wherein we have a press that minimizes the good deeds of our people. And I believe the best example is a living example. I'm going to show you now a video. And I want you to see this video because I have some comments about what has not been done in the aftermath of the video. Would you please cue the video?
Yo soy su congresista, Al Green. Yes. Solo un poco de español. And because I speak a little Spanish, I shall finish my message in English. Yes, Kristi Noem must go. Yes. But let me complete the sentence. She must go to jail. Yes. She must go to jail. What Kristi Noem did to cover up the deaths of people seen actually terminated on national TV is not only sinful, it's more than regrettable, it is criminal. She must go to jail. To jail. Lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up. Friends, this is racial profiling, but to be more specific, to add the specificity that makes the difference, it is racist profiling. This is the epitome of what the Constitution finds onerous. It is a means of identifying people that is not just unacceptable, it is unconstitutional. And we have a duty, responsibility, and an obligation as members of Congress to take up this cause as we're taking it up in the Homeland Security Committee. It was the Honorable Benny Thompson who assembled us and told us, we have to bring articles of impeachment. Yes. It is time for the Congress of the United States of America, notwithstanding numbers, notwithstanding what may happen if the other side does not join us, but it's time for us to do our duty and bring articles of impeachment against a reckless, ruthless, lawless secretary, as well as the president of the United States of America. I want to close with this. If you look like you're Latino, you may be stopped and taken away. If you sound like you're Latino, if you look and sound like you're Latino, you may be stopped and removed. I have now, pending in my office, a case wherein ICE approached a father, and they took this father into custody and required the father to go to the school so that they could take his daughter as well. Took them out of the country. This is the kind of behavior and lawlessness that people are having to cope with. People are living in fear in the United States of America, of all hues, I might add. It is time for the fear to end and ICE to be out. I yield back the balance of my time. Thank you.
I wanted you to see this for a couple of reasons, and I'll be brief. One, we cannot assume that racism applies only to Black people. It applies to people of color, and it applies to our Latino brothers and sisters in this time of crisis. And if we're going to stand against racism, we've got to stand against it not only as it impacts us, but also as it impacts any person in this country, and that includes them. And a good many of the people who are part of the wait staff this morning are persons of color, and they are Latino. I want them to receive an ovation from us for what they are doing to serve us. And I want them to know that we're going to try and make sure that they are not stopped and they are not taken out of the country, that they don't have to carry IDs on them, that they can be just as American as anybody else in this country. But now, back to what I was explaining about this thing of our not being able to have our leadership properly recognized. And I'm going to use the best example. Sometimes a living example is the best example. And I'm going to be that living example because I want you to know that we do all of these things and the Houston Chronicle doesn't cover them. I say, I am not afraid of the Houston Chronicle. I am not the Houston Chronicle's congressperson. I am the people's congressperson. And if the Houston Chronicle never covers me again, it will not matter because I will still have my dignity and my principles. Let the Houston Chronicle do what it may, but it ought to cover stories like this, to cover people who are being ill-treated, mistreated, and pushed out of this country. So I want you to know that there are some people not of goodwill. Now, if you have young children and you think that your child cannot hear a certain level of profanity, this may be a good time to remove your child because we're about to play in just a moment an audio. And this is important. Do you remember Emmett Till? If you do, raise your hand. Okay. Emmett Till's mother saw her son, who had been beaten beyond recognition. And everyone said to her, "You have to have a closed casket funeral." She said, "No, I want the world to see what happened to my son." And it was having that done, showing the world what happened to her son, that had an impact on the civil rights movement. It really accelerated the pace. Sometimes you just have to let the world see the horrors of racism. Look it in the face. In this case, we're going to hear the horrors of racism that we have to endure. Please cue the audio.
This message is for Representative Al Green and staff. Pro tip, if you act like a nigger, you will be treated as a nigger and viewed as a nigger. If you don't like being called a nigger and being referred to as a nigger, stop acting like a nigger.
You ain't gonna impeach nobody, you fucking nigger. Try it, and we'll lynch all you fucking niggers. You'll be hanging from a tree. I didn't see anybody calling for the impeachment of your nigger Obama when he was born in Kenya. He's not even an American. So fuck you, nigger.
This is what I and my staff have to endure. This is why the Congress of the United States of America has given us $20,000 a month for our security. This is why some people might not find going into politics an acceptable line of work. We have to do what has not been done, and that is stand up to this racism and let everybody know that we will not bend, we will not break, we will not cower, we will not allow racism to dominate our lives. We're gonna take it to them just as they're bringing it to us. We're gonna stand and fight against racism, and we're gonna demand that newspapers like the Houston Chronicle cover these racist stories so that people will understand that while we wanna fight anti-Semitism, and we must, anti-Semitism is abhorrent and we have to fight it. But we also have to fight racism the same way we fight anti-Semitism in this country. We have to do it. To this end, I have introduced a resolution in Congress styled affirming that racism is real and present in the United States of America and condemning invidious discrimination, which remains pervasive in the country. Now, let me explain how racism impacts you in ways that you don't know. I served on the Financial Services Committee. I was the chairperson of Oversight and Investigation, and if ever we take the House back again, I hope to be chairperson again. Under the leadership of the Honorable Maxine Waters. And here is what we acquired the empirical evidence to substantiate. We found that when a person of color goes into a bank to get a loan, that person of color, many of you have suffered this fate. That person of color will have to pay more for the loan, will get terms that are not as favorable, and get less money than a person who is not of color and less qualified. That impacts your ability to have a house note that is reasonable, that you can afford. That impacts your ability to buy a car that you can afford and not have a note that you cannot pay. There is still racism in lending in this country, and it still impacts people of color. And when you go to buy that car, there is something called the front office deal. This is where you make a great deal on the car. But by the time you get to the rear office, there is something called the back office steal, wherein all the gains that you got in the front office are taken from you in the back office. And you can't prove it because everybody can get a deal that's different from everybody else. What do I mean? I mean this. You and another person of a different hue can go into the office on the same day, buy the same car, have the same credit, and you can pay more than that other person simply because of how you look. That has got to stop in the United States of America. And when I go to Congress, this is what I fight. I fight the racism that causes you to be shortchanged, to not receive the same pay as other people receive for the same work that you're doing. I'm going to fight to make sure that you don't pay more for your insurance because you happen to live in an area of town that has a zip code where there are streets that are not as repaired as everybody else, and you pay more for your insurance. I'm going to fight to make sure that you have the same opportunities as others, and that we will no longer find ourselves living in a country where Black unemployment is nearly always twice that of white unemployment. You cannot convince me that after all these years, Black unemployment is going to be twice that of white unemployment. Look, I'm not condemning all white people. There are white people of goodwill who are on our side and working with us. But
All right. So for Senator Al Green's video right there, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there at that portion because we do got to move through this. I know y'all trying to get to the Super Bowl and watch the game, so I don't want to hold you for too long. And that speech that he had, it's a really great and powerful speech. I have that information in the description box of my video if y'all want to watch it on your own accord. We'll try to segue back to it before the game starts, but we got to move on to the next one. But in that final statement that he said, and this is something that I say and that I believe and I know to be true in my heart. When I speak about these things, I don't ever want anybody to ever get it misunderstood. When I speak about racism and the experiences of racism and racism in this country and this world, and I talk about individuals, sometimes maybe directly, that I feel are moving and operating with racism in their heart and their life and their energy. What we know to be true is who operates that way and who doesn't. And so one of the things that I just hope most people can understand and respect is that when we talk about these things, yes, they got to be talked about, and they're not very comfortable conversations to have. But it doesn't mean that we're saying every person that is a Caucasian person or a person of a different nationality is a racist person. We're not saying that. We're not saying that because we know that to not be true. Just like Al Green just said. And so now I'm going to move on to the next video. And I'm going to stop him right here on this one. And we're going to go ahead and play this next video here, where we're going to be talking about, again, Trump and his racism. But we're also going to hear these reports from an individual, like I said, that I like to watch. I love his platform. And I love what he has to say because he's fair and he tells it like it is. So we're going to listen from MS now. And this is Chris Hayes. And basically what he's saying is, to his bones, Donald Trump is a racist. And he's reporting on that. He's speaking on that. And this is a Caucasian man. So it's not that we're saying everybody from the race is racist. No, we know the ones that are, we know the ones that aren't. And there are people that stand up and they fight right beside on the front lines when it comes to this wrongdoing and this nasty work. And so let's go ahead and get into this video now, y'all. Right as Senator Al Green said that, I wanted to go ahead and segue into this video. This is Chris Hayes, okay? Let's hear what he got to say about this in Black History Month. What Trump is out here doing. How he really feels. Let's get into it.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump is, to his bones, a racist. His administration is above all else pursuing an explicitly racist agenda. None of this is news, unfortunately, but every so often the President of the United States does something so grotesque, so egregiously offensive, that we have no choice but to view it in the larger context of his persistent bigotry. So, last night, around midnight, Trump's social media account posted and then reposted a truly deranged video pushing 2020 election conspiracies, which he's obsessed with, that also depicted the first Black president and the first Black first lady of this country, Barack and Michelle Obama, as apes. The Obama family has thus far not responded to the video, but House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries has.
This disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Thune, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue pretending to be the president of the United States.
Americans of all stripes were as disgusted and offended as Leader Jeffries, but the White House's first response was to pretend they didn't know why. In a statement, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called it a, quote, fake outrage. But as they so often do, I think the White House misread the room here. Maybe not everyone is as racist as we are. People were genuinely upset by the President of the United States in 2026 promoting this kind of just like abhorrent gutter racism, right? And the outrage was real and it was bipartisan. Republican members of Congress, including Representative Mike Lawler of New York and Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, condemned the post, as did Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, a staunch Trump ally, the only black Republican serving in that chamber, who posted that it was the most racist thing he'd seen out of the White House, leaving many to ask the question, what was the second most racist thing, Senator? And so Trump did an about face. The video was quietly deleted. The White House blamed an anonymous staffer. It's an excuse they've used in the past, and you can determine for yourself if you believe it. But if it's true, I think we deserve to know why a staffer is posting as President of the United States in the middle of the night. That's kind of weird. I think it's clear that the outcry from his fellow Republicans is what moved the needle here. And while it is notable, one also has to wonder why this instance of rank bigotry crossed the line. Donald Trump is proudly publicly racist all the time, seemingly every week. He goes on some disgusting tirade about, for instance, the black residents of Minneapolis. He spent a good chunk of his presidential campaign lying about Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs. This is who he is. But even setting aside his personal bigotry, which is real and an animating force, his administration, using all the powers of the state, is pursuing an explicitly racist agenda to rewrite the history of anti-black racism in this country and to force black people out of both public and private. It is a whole of government approach, all the way back to the earliest days of this administration. Do you remember this? I think we've all lost it because, you know, the news cycle goes past. Do you remember they spent weeks blaming a horrific, deadly plane crash, an absolute tragedy, dozens of people dead, on DEI, right? Remember that? The implication being that if the pilot were anyone other than a white man, well, then that's your cause right there. They're inherently unqualified.
Something the president said that I think bears re-emphasizing, which is that when you don't have the best standards in who you're hiring, it means on the one hand, you're not getting the best people in government, but on the other hand, it puts stresses on the people who are already there. And I think that is a core part of what President Trump is going to bring and has already brought to Washington, D.C. is we want to hire the best people because we want the best people at air traffic control, and we want to make sure we have enough people at air traffic control who are actually competent to do the job. If you go back to just some of the headlines over the past 10 years, you have many hundreds of people suing the government because they would like to be air traffic controllers, but they were turned away because of the color of their skin. That policy ends under Donald Trump's leadership because safety is the first priority of our aviation industry.
Now, we know a lot more about the crash. It doesn't really seem like the air traffic controllers were the sort of key cause of it. And as it so happens, all three crew members of the Black Hawk helicopter involved in the crash were white. The first instinct of this administration was to blame people of color. It's part of a pattern. Not long after that DEI outburst, the White House scrubbed Jackie Robinson, yes, that Jackie Robinson, from the Defense Department's website. In addition to breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball, Robinson also served as a second lieutenant in World War II, where he was court-martialed for refusing to move to the back of an Army bus. The page, which they scrubbed, was later restored when, again, like what happened today, the White House got caught. Late last year, the White House removed two federal holidays honoring Black history, Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth, Day of the Liberation of Enslaved People in Texas, from the list of days when national parks offer free admission. They were replaced with Trump's birthday. Just last month, workers directed by the National Park Service used crowbars to deface a Philadelphia memorial honoring 9 enslaved people who were forced to work for George Washington. This week, the National Park Service removed brochures at the Medgar Evers Monument in Mississippi, get this, in order to remove the descriptor racist from the KKK member who murdered the civil rights icon. Once again, they appear to have backtracked after getting caught. I could go on and on and on, but even more insidious are the efforts to purge Black people from elite institutions and government and replace them with Well, generally, to be honest, white dudes. For all their talk about merit, these people have zero conception of it. This administration is committed to a project of aggressive affirmative action for assorted fail sons and conservative white men. This graphic from the New York Times last year makes it so clear. Trump forced out the black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, replaced her with a white guy. Trump forced out the first black librarian of Congress, replaced her with a white guy. Trump forced out the Relations Board, nominated 2 white guys. He forced out the first black chairman of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, replaced him with a white guy. He forced out the only black member of the National Transportation Safety Board, replaced him with a white guy. Trump is trying to fire Lisa Cook, the first black woman to serve on the Fed's Board of Governors, and those are just the people in government. They want black people banished from power. How much more obvious could it be? There is a clear pattern here. They are pursuing a racist agenda. That video, usefully perhaps, was just Trump fully taking the mask off.
All right, y'all. So that was Chris Hayes. As we can see, that was him on his channel speaking about all of this, everything that we've been seeing and witnessing happen. And you heard exactly what it is he said in those final statements, okay? Exactly how he feels and what he knows that it seems like, or what it looks like, these people are doing, okay? How they feel, what they're trying to play out. And so, you know, one of the biggest things for me, I think, is what it always boils down to is, if you don't want to take my word for it, listen to people who maybe you trust a little bit more, who maybe you respect what they say and what they observe and what they think a little bit more. That's Chris Hayes, okay? We know that he got a big platform. We know that he has a big voice. We know that he is also a Caucasian man, and he sees these things for the way they exactly are. He has no problem speaking on it and standing 10 toes down on it. So if you don't want to believe a black person, if you don't want to believe a Hispanic person, if you don't want to believe when we say the things that we say, or we come to these platforms and we have these type of conversations that are hard conversations to have, and I get it and I understand why. But when we say these things, if you don't believe us, if you think that it's just, oh, here they go complaining again. Oh, here they go. Just, it's always about race. Oh, here they go. Okay, that's fine. You can leave that over there on the side. But what about when actual other people that are loving, caring, understanding people, and they see and understand what it is when they see it, and they just happen to be what? Caucasian? So do you believe it when it comes from them? Do you receive it more when they say it and how they break it down and how they present it on their platforms and their channels? Is that more palatable to you, opposed to hearing maybe black people say it, or Spanish people say it, or Asian people say it? Like, does it have to be based off of who's telling you what is really going on, what the experiences is? And the craziness is, you need an outside party that just happens to be the race that is more comfortable to you to listen to tell you about what is happening in a community or towards a group and a race of people that are the people that are actually experiencing the injustices themselves. When they say it and when they tell you, you dismiss it. You don't believe it. You think we're just complaining. And we just, when is it ever going to end? When is y'all going to stop complaining about racism? Why are y'all keeping this alive? Oh my God, that was in the past. We didn't move past it now. That was back then. That's not now. Is it not now? Because we've been trying to tell y'all that even when it was back then, it's still happening now. But when we say it, you don't want to believe us. You don't take us seriously, right? Oh, we're just complaining and we're keeping the past and we keep bringing it to the future and, you know, the current, the present, whatever. But if you hear somebody else say it and really say it for what it really is and what's really happening, then maybe now you get it. Then maybe now you understand. We haven't just been shouting and screaming to the top of our lungs for nothing. We've been trying to tell you, you know. Anyway, let's get into this last video. We got to get up out of here because child is Super Bowl. And I know people is going to be watching the Super Bowl. So, one of the final videos that I wanted to play is, despite all of these things that are happening and a lot of this turmoil that we are seeing and dealing with, in this tug of war that is happening, within the political sector, Democrats, Republicans, red, blue, all of the stuff, right? There are some shifts and some changes that are happening. And I think they're happening because people, human beings, despite the race, whatever, are just starting to wake up and see like there is a side that is actually here for the people and the safety of the people, the embetterment of the people, and the needs of the people. And then there's a side that may not necessarily be doing that, right? And again, y'all know I'm not a sides person. I'm right in the middle because I think the middle is a safe place to be, honestly, when it comes to these politics. Because I've heard the Democrat side. I've heard the Republican side. I've heard even the independents side. Where I stand is what makes sense to me and what is best for us as a people as a whole. That's what I want. That's the direction I want to vote in. That's where I want to go, and I will hope and pray that these people that are promising these said things are not going to lie about it, that they're not just saying it for sure, that they're not just saying it so they can get the vote. I hope that whatever it is they say that they can do within their position, that they really can do. And they really going to put boots on the ground and put their energy and their effort into making those things pan out and play out so things can be better for the people as a whole. No race included. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to think about that. I'm talking about us as human beings, our necessities, our needs, the things that we are expecting our government officials to be able to deliver to us. Safety. Walking out of your house and not think that you're going to be gunned down or tackled down to the ground by ICE officers. Right? These are the things that are important to people. And so when we have people that are running, and they're saying this is what we want to do. We know rents is high. We know rental insurance is high. All of these different things that are affecting people in their day-to-day lives and comfortability that we like to see made different, made easier, made better. That is what we are fighting towards and fighting for. That is what we're wanting to see changing. And when individuals say they can promise that, then hey, all I'm saying is you're saying you can promise it. We're going to vote for you. We're going to put our trust in you. We're going to give you our vote and give you a chance. And we hope and pray that on the other side of that, everything that you said that you're going to fight towards for the people to have is what you fight towards for the people to have, that it comes to fruition. That's all people ever have wanted. What you promise and you tell people to their face, you keep your word on it. But anyway, we have some happiness at the end of this live because we are going to take it to Louisiana right now. So Louisiana is having some triumphs. And let's go ahead and get into this new story because they are getting some officials into place that are promising those things. And I'm a fair person. Hey, you get the position, you get the vote, you win. That's great for you. We love that. But what the people want to see is the things that you have been promising, the things that you've been campaigning, the things that you've been advertising. Will you see it forth to the end? Are you going to do the best, the very best that you can do in the position that you hold to make sure that those things come true? To make sure what you promise the people, they get. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not like magic. You can't just snap your fingers and make all of these things happen right away. I know you got to jump through a lot of hoops. I know you got to do a lot of fighting. I know you got to sit in a lot of, meetings and go back and forth in order to get these things pulled off, right? And put into place for the people. But if you say that in your heart and you as a person will fight tooth and nail down to the very grit to make sure all of that is put into place for the people that you represent and you serve, then we have to give you a chance. We have to believe in you. And we have to believe that what you're telling us is true, that you will fight tooth and nail for that. Even as difficult as it may be to fight, you will still do it to the best of your ability that you can. And I do think as us, as the people, we do have to understand it's not always easy. It's not always easy for these governors. It's not always easy for these senators. It's not always easy for these representatives. They can't. It's not magic world, Disney world, where they just snap their finger or wave their magic wand and boom, everything that they said they could give you, they give it to you. It doesn't work like that when it comes to politics. And we understand that now. The more we learn it and we pay attention to it. And we want to give these people, because we can see if it's in their heart. We can see if it's what they really set out to do. And they really work hard towards it. They fight tooth and nail towards it to get that for the people. We know the ones that do it that way, and we know the ones that don't. And we do understand that it is not always easy. There's a lot of fighting that has to happen. There's a lot of hoops that have to be jumped through in order for these things to come into position for the greater good of the people that they represent. So I do think there's a balance. That's why I say, y'all, it's very important to me. Balance in the middle somewhere. And us as the people, we got to meet these people in the middle too. And if we feel and if we understand and we pick up on that energy that they really are fighting and trying their best to do the best for the people, then we stand by them despite the fact of the failures, despite the fact of all of the no's and all of, the turn downs that they get. They're fighting, they're trying, but they got to go about it in a certain way. And it's not always easy. And there's so many that's fighting so hard against it because they don't want that for the people. They don't want to see the people doing well or thrive. But anyway, let's get into this video real quick. I'm going to get y'all up out of here so we can go watch the Super Bowl together, y'all. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Anyway, let's get into it. Be right back.
Right now for tonight's special primary election where a state Senate seat and 2 state representative districts were up for grabs. Let's start with the House seat that covers much of Gentilly. WDSU reporter Cassie Sherm is live following that race closely, Cassie, as Ed Murray is the projected winner.
That's right. We've had a lot of celebrating in this room right now. I'm actually joined by Mr. Murray here. And I mean, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of District 97. I'm tired, but I'm ready to get to work.
I was about to say, I mean, there's a lot going on. Parades are happening too, but there's a lot to do in the Gentilly neighborhoods.
Right. There's a lot to do, and I'm very, very thankful for everybody coming out. We've had 2 hard freezes during early voting, a ton of parades today, so very happy people came out and, again, ready to hit the ground running.
What do you think is the most important thing to hit the ground running now that you're going to be in this position?
Homeowners insurance, definitely. We got to get a hold of it. It's completely unsustainable right now.
And I mean, you have obviously a large backing. Family is here to support you. How do you feel like you're going to be when you're at the state and dealing with everyone else in Baton Rouge?
I think I'll be just the way I am now. I deal with people on both sides of the aisle now, and I think it'll be a natural transition for me.
And also working with the council. You'll be working with the city council here too. And I know you guys have good relationships as well.
Yes, I actually serve on a few boards with some of the council members now, and it'll just be a different title for me now.
And in this position, what do you hope to learn from it? I know a lot of times when people are coming in as a fresh face, there's a lot to learn too.
I hope to learn to understand people's needs and how to meet them immediately, not just give them lip service, but give them actions and deliver results.
And what would you like to say to voters right now who are watching?
Just thank y'all so much. I know there's a lot going on. Won't let you guys down.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. And yeah, obviously we have a whole crowd here. A lot of celebration, a lot of excitement happening over here right now. But for now, I'm Cassie Sherm. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Cassie, thanks very much. I want to walk through some other results right now. The state representative seat for District 100, which represents New Orleans East, will be heading to a runoff. Kenya Rounds and Dana Henry will be facing off for that seat. The state Senate seat for District 3, which represents New Orleans East and Gentilly, also heading to a runoff. Sidney Bartholomew got the majority of the votes here, but didn't get over that 50% mark. He will be facing off against Ken Barnes. Here's a live look outside for you now at 10:03 as we wrap up this election day and the first big Saturday of carnival season.
And I'm joined now by Senator Adam Schiff of California. Senator, what does he mean? What do you think he means when he says nationalize the elections, or specifically that Republicans should take control of the voting?
I think if he intends to try to subvert the elections, he will do everything he can to suppress the vote. And if he loses the vote, and I think the Republicans now expect they'll get a real drubbing in the midterms, he's prepared to try to take some kind of action to overturn the result. And we really shouldn't question that. We saw him try to the point of insurrection to overturn the 2020 election. We see him now taking these extraordinary steps with an election now 5 years ago. He's basically telling us he intends to interfere in this upcoming election. He hasn't brought prices down. There's chaos and killing in American streets by ICE agents. The public has turned against him in every election we've had since his election. The voters have swung wildly against him. And as you know, he said at that prayer breakfast, his ego cannot stand another loss. So we have to prepare for the worst. We have to prepare in every way we can. And frankly, the best preparation we have is not the Congress, because Republican senators, for the most part, are not going to stand up to him. The courts are useful at the lower levels, but at the Supreme Court, they have left him unrestrained. The best protection we have is to mobilize the largest voter turnout in U.S. history to so overwhelm the vote and get the kind of margins we saw in Texas in that special election so that there's no way they can cheat.
But on this idea of, quote, nationalizing the elections, obviously the Constitution says the states control the elections. Congress could have a role. Congress can change those regulations, the Constitution tells us. But Thune, the Senate leader, Republican Senate leader, and Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the House, have both said that they oppose this. So given that set of facts, there's nothing that Trump can do legally, is there, to quote, nationalize the elections?
Well, this depends on a couple of things. It depends on whether the Republican leaders you just quoted really hold fast to that. And time after time, we have seen them initially make statements of a willingness to stand up to the president and his lawlessness. In this case, is a willful defiance of the Constitution. But we've seen that in the way. But also, there's a president willing to act honestly. I'm seeing whatsoever. Her job is to oversee the work of the intelligence agencies outward focusing on foreign threats, not to create a threat to our domestic tranquility by interfering in elections, but that's what they're doing. So, we cannot ignore what they're telling us they're going to do, because time and time again, we have seen that they're willing to go to extraordinary and lawless lengths. The last best hope for our democracy is not going to be the Congress or the court. It's going to be the American people. And the American people are speaking out, and they are protesting, and they're going to turn out, I hope, in the most massive numbers in November.
You're been involved in intelligence. You were the chair of the Intelligence Committee in the House. Can you explain why is it concerning that the Director of National Intelligence would not only be present for an FBI raid of this, to get the ballots in Georgia, but also there at a meeting with FBI agents and putting the President of the United States on the phone during that meeting? Explain to us why this is of concern.
Well, this is alarming at every level. First of all, why is the FBI conducting a raid 5 years after the fact when there were 3 recounts in Georgia? Why are they even there? And remember, this is the site of the election in which the president called Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, the Republican Secretary of State, and demanded he find 11,780 votes that don't exist. So what are they doing there now? Are they going to manufacture some claim, having seized ballot boxes, that there were, in fact, 11,780 votes? And why is the director of intelligence, who has no role in domestic law enforcement, there? What is the president personally doing on the phone with FBI agents during a raid? All of this is unprecedented. I think all of this is intended to send a message, and the message is we will not tolerate or accept an election that we lose. And we need to pay attention to this. It's why I think in these budget discussions, we need to make sure to insist, among other things, that we don't have ICE agents at polling places. We're going to make sure that those elections take place and that they're free and that they're fair, because this is what's going to stop this country from sliding into some kind of dictatorship.
I want to play something that your Republican colleague, Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, said this week on Fox Business.
President Trump wants same-day voting, mail ballots, get rid of these voting machines. There's a half a dozen people, whether it's the House or Senate, Larry, that are up here as we speak, that did not get elected. It was all bogus, because we've seen the evidence. And if we don't straighten that out, you're going to see a lot more of it this fall.
Now, President Trump actually took that clip and posted it on his social media feed. How do you respond to those extraordinary and unfounded allegations from Senator Tuberville?
Well, this is just the latest iteration of the big lie. He is laying the foundation to challenge the results in November if they go against the president and his party. And it's not just Tommy Tuberville. You cited a moment ago Speaker Mike Johnson as somehow defending our Constitution. Well, Mike Johnson was also saying something very similar to Tommy Tuberville. He said that three Republicans in California were ahead on election day and lost when the absentee ballots came in California, and therefore there must be fraud. And he couldn't prove it, but he was sure that it took place. Well, that's the same kind of big lie that you're hearing from Tommy Tuberville, that you heard from Donald Trump and continue to hear from Donald Trump. This is part of laying the foundation to challenge the result when they lose in the midterms. And we need to call it out. We need to spell it out. Even as they're saying people don't trust the elections, they're the reason why people don't trust the elections, because they keep telling the American people that somehow American elections are untrustworthy. It is the same thing you see of tin pot dictators anywhere.
So Republicans are making a big push for the so-called SAVE Act, at least some Republicans are, that would require a proof of citizenship to be able to vote. I understand you and other Democrats oppose that. There are roughly 20 or so million voting age Americans who don't actually have the the papers that would be required to show readily available. But given the Republicans have undermined confidence in elections and the integrity of elections, what about the idea of voter ID, being required to vote? Are you in favor of that? Can there be a compromise where Democrats and Republicans put forward photo ID as a requirement for voting?
So, Jonathan, what you've just asked is essentially Republicans have created distrust in the elections by making claims of non-existent fraud in the elections. And shouldn't we use the distrust they've created in order to enact a voter suppression law, which is the SAVE Act, which would require people to have a birth certificate or passport, documents that millions of Americans don't have. Almost half the country doesn't have a passport, and I don't know where many millions of people would even find a birth certificate. So
but I asked you
phony fraud claims.
But I was asking you a different question. Photo ID, because as you know, let's show up. There was a recent poll. There's been a lot of polls on this, but in one recent Pew poll, 83% of adults support requiring photo ID to vote. 71% of Democrats favor requiring photo ID. Is that something that you can support? And if not, why not?
It's still going to be something, Jonathan. It's still going to be something that disenfranchises people that don't have the proper real ID, driver's license ID, that don't have the ID necessary to vote, even though they are citizens. This is another way to simply try to suppress the vote. And the last thing I think we want to do is discourage more people, more citizens from voting while they're attacking those same elections, while they're trying to do away with absentee ballot voting, while they're trying to do away with being able to register to vote through the DMV or by the mail. So it's part of the broader disenfranchisement effort. And no, I don't think that's the right direction.
All right, Senator Schiff, thank you for joining us this morning.
All right, y'all. So I just want y'all to hear a little bit of that before we go ahead and get up out of here. I did want to say one thing though. And this is what I'm telling you, like when this stuff is talked about and when it gets presented, people will feel and respond and operate the way, you know, that they do based off of what's said. So I want to give y'all a real story. So a real story that I heard the other day from none other than my mother, right? My mother told me that based off of this climate and everything that is happening right now, when it comes to her voting, right? When it comes to the time to vote, whether we are voting locally or when it comes to voting for our next president, whenever the next voting, you know, day is for president, but we're talking about midterms, we're talking about, you know, so voting sometimes, you know, for our local positions and stuff as well. This is something that my mother told me. My mother is 63 years old. Okay. She is a Black African-American woman. She's 63 years old. She has been voting her whole life since it's been time to vote. And one of the things that she told me is that she is scared. She is scared to go to the polls to vote. And where we vote, where we live, is typically 10 minutes away from where we live, if that, at a local school. Right? It is an elementary school that opens up the voting polls there for people to vote. And my mother told me that she's scared to go there to vote because she's not sure what is going to pop off and what is going to happen. Now, if this is my mama and you know, well, I don't know if you know, but I'll tell you, she's hard in the core now. Let's be clear. Okay. My mama's not no soft cookie. She's a tough cookie. But from all of these things that she's been seeing playing out in her age, with the health elements and things that she has, she says that she is fearful to go to the actual polls to vote because she doesn't know who will be there, what is going to happen, what may pop off. She said that she may send her vote through the mail. We're having a conversation about that. Trust me, we are. But what I'm saying to bring that to the forefront for people to understand is, do you know how many other people, especially that may be up in age, that may have some health conditions and issues, and that do watch the news and keep up with what's going on? These people may get to a point where they are fearful now to show up and show out and vote because they don't know what's going to happen when they are out there at these polls, because there's so much that's been shown as to where it can be dangerous trying to just submit a vote. Do you understand? And so these are real conversations and fears that parents and family members and people of older age and health conditions and ailments may have when it comes to voting. And when we're talking about voter suppression, this is what voter suppression looks like. This is one of the main things that voter suppression looks like. These are the main people they're trying to chop off the docket from going to vote. Is people who are, you know, elderly or up in age or have health conditions and things of that nature. They know that they can knock them off the ship in the boat real quick, right? So their vote is out there. And if you mail in your vote, it may not get there in time. It may not be delivered. The mail can be, you know, tampered with. We can't be sure, allegedly. That has been said to happen before. And so we have a lot of people now that, you know, because of these things that are happening in our country, when it comes to our government, our political system and sector, people are scared to go out and vote. And that is the goal. That is what they want to happen. They want people to be scared to go out and vote because these main people that are probably, you know, feeling this type of way and stuff, they can mostly conclude that these individuals are people that are going to be voting for what is right. They're going to be voting for the candidates and the individuals that are going to bring change for the community and the people overall, especially based if you know, have issues and things that you need dealt with by your, you know, local government, right? When it comes to money, when it comes to your taxes, when it comes to all of those important prevalent things, those are the people that they're, are looking for to not vote. So they can't vote in that favor, right? And that can help get them an inch up edgewise. So we're talking about this voter suppression, and it continues to happen in many different ways, in many different, sequences. We've seen it happen in the previous elections, right? And now we're seeing it in a big way in this current election, where there is unfortunately people that are fearful. They are fearful for their life. And it's not just my mother, because my mother, yes, she's Black, she's African American, if that's what you want to call it, child. We're trying to get into all of that and learn all about all that too, because I do have questions when it comes to that. But anyway, we're Black, okay? But think about the Hispanic mothers, the Hispanic grandmothers, the Hispanic fathers, the Hispanic grandfathers. These are people now that have been made to feel scared and fearful to leave their house, even just to go to the grocery store to get groceries. But damn sure when they go down to the voting booths, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to incite fear. They want to make people scared to where they will not vote and they will not vote. And those votes that don't happen or they don't get received properly, they don't count. And that is what they're trying to do. And so we have seen the reports on that. We have seen, the news stations telling us this is what could possibly happen in the next election. People are fearful and scared. And not even just because they may be the exact target, they don't know what's going to pop off. They don't know what could possibly happen. And for goodness sake, they don't want to be hurt or harmed or unalived. So this is what we're dealing with in our country right now. This is what we're dealing with in a lot of our states and our cities right now. And again, y'all remember what I say all the time. I'm not a woe is me person when it comes to the things that we are dealing with and experiencing in the United States of America. Because I know in other countries, they've been dealing with this stuff far longer than before we started having to deal with it. Us as humans and people, despite what country we live in and where we're at, none of this is ever okay. And this is what we're dealing with. And so I just think we got to talk about it. We got to fight against it. And, we got to stand up for what is right. That is just how I feel. But y'all, Super Bowl time, Super Bowl time, Super Bowl time, Super Bowl time. What y'all doing, y'all? Y'all got some wings. You know what I mean? Y'all got the lemon pepper wings. What y'all got? Y'all got some buffalo wings. What y'all eating? What y'all doing? Y'all having a party? Y'all turning up? Y'all having a good time tonight for Super Bowl Sunday? Huh? And what team? Which team is your team? Okay. Let me go ahead and just read some final thoughts for y'all. We're going to get up out of here, chat. Y'all know I'm going to close it with a bop, but I'm going to read some final thoughts. As we closing out this live, we is getting ready for the game, okay? So I want you to carry on. One word that I want to leave with you is momentum, okay? We seen the mask come off with these disgusting AI videos targeting the Obamas. We've heard the warnings from Representative Jasmine Crockett. That is the racism is not just a tweet, okay? It is a policy. It is designed to erase us, but we also have to look at the evidence that we are winning. Just yesterday, okay? We saw a triumphant win in Louisiana. Chastity Martinez won her seat outright in District 60 with over 61% of the vote, despite the GOP trying to manipulate the system with closed primaries. We saw the massive double-digit shift towards the Democrats. This is why the 2026 midterm elections this November are the most important dates that we should put on our calendar. Tonight is the Super Bowl, but November 3rd is the real championship. Every single seat in the House and 35 seats in the Senate are up for grabs. We have to chance to take back the gavel. And the policy-driven racism that has put people in power who actually respect our history, Louisiana was just the warm-up show. The midterms are the main event. We stand with all minorities, from our Latino brothers and sisters to every immigrant being targeted. because when we vote together, we are an unstoppable force, and we will continue to do so. And I also want to give a final prayer and send off, which is typically what my mama does best. But right now, she's keeping my son at bay, so I can do this live, and I ain't even gonna lie. But I will give a prayer. So before I go, I want to give this prayer to us because we need it. We are praying for the safety of everyone at Levi Station in Santa Clara. We are praying that the spirit of intimidation, all that talk of ICE presence and enforcement, is silenced by the spirit of joy and community. We pray for our brother Bad Bunny as he makes history tonight. Let his performance be a light for our culture and a reminder that we belong in every space where we occupy. We pray for peace in the streets and safety for every fan traveling home. Enjoy the Patriots and the Seahawks tonight, y'all. It's probably already started because y'all know I talk too much. Celebrate Coco Jones singing live. Lift every voice and sing. Oh my God, I have to catch that. Y'all know I made my little remake of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Wow, Coco Jones has made it. Oh, I have to listen to that. I didn't even know that. But most importantly, stay vigilant. We're in a fight for the soul of this country. Black History Month is a reminder that we were built for this. Be safe, be powerful, and I'll see you guys at the polls. Peace. Golden out, y'all. Let's end it with that Lift Every Voice. I'm pretty sure my rendition is not going to be as good as Coco Jones. That's my girl. Child, she is talented. That voice is beautiful. I got to hear my girl Coco Jones singing Lift Every Voice at this Super Bowl, child. Let me go ahead and get this bop on. We're going to get up out of here, and I will see y'all on the next one. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for listening in. God bless you all. I love each and every one of you. I really, really do. And we gonna make it through this, y'all. We're gonna be all right. We tough. We built for this. Anyway, y'all, I'll see y'all in the next live. Have a good night. Bye.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let it ring out loud. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea, like the mighty waters. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. We remember it all. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Hope is alive, yeah. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on. Let's keep marching till victory is won. Stony the road we trod. Bitter the castanet rock. But we're still here. Hey. the dawn's early light. It's a new day. What so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming. Hold your head. Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, let it shine. The bombs bursting in air. We won't back down. Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, it's still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Wait for justice.
The vision, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison, got the youth chasing lights, addicted to the feed, ignoring the hunger, the fundamental need. They building paper idols on a digital stage, putting our future daughters in a virtual cage. Now we gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mighty giving the sword. So we teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power, every single face. We are human, blood and bone and soul, with the right to be hate, the right to be whole. This is our story, this is our sacred song, in the eyes of the Creator. justice, a word of peace, a promise that the fight will never cease.
This ain't just a track, it's a call to action. For every mother, father, every single fraction of the community holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell them that they matter. Tell them their spirit's something to know like a shadow. Tell them knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We're gonna grow in this field. Yeah.
Oh, yes we are.
We got to be.
There's a voice in the wilderness, crying out in the night, bringing the darkness into the holy light. He stood with a camera, he stood with the truth, while the system was breaking the hope of our youth. Oh, they took him in shadows, they took him in chains, but you can't lock the spirit where the fire remains. I'm talking about Dawn, a brother so bold, telling the stories that need to be told. Set 'em free, Lord, let the captives go. Let the river of justice start to overflow. From the jailhouse walls to the ice cold floor, we're knocking on your heaven's door. Freedom for born, freedom for the brave, freedom for the ones they're trying to enslave. Now let the truth ring out, let the truth ring out, let the truth ring out. In the streets of St. Paul, where the shadows grow tall, we saw Renee and Alex, we watched them fall. They're using the law like a hammer and stone, while the mothers are weeping and feeling alone. They cried, Operation Surge, they call it a plane, but we see the bruises face. Welcome to the rain. Golden Queen, H2.0. Let's get it. You're looking for a diamond, found a treasure in the rough. Tired of all the noise, cause you finally had enough. I'm here to build a movement on a mission for the nation. Dropping gems of knowledge, killing all the hesitation. We fighting for the truth, yeah, we fighting for what's right. Building unity and shining up a brand new light. It's a variety channel, but the vision's crystal clear. Pushing us all forward, conquering the doubt and fear. Yo, welcome to the queendom. H2.0 on your screen, with the content's real and smart and funny in between. This is more than just a stream, it's a platform for the change. Time to elevate the game and rearrange. So if you're ready for a vibe that you can feel and trust, joining in the movement is a definite must. This ain't just another channel talking smack behind the screen. It's a spotlight for the creators, building up of the scene, spreading radical love, that's the message in the code. Helping everybody carry up a heavy load, from social justice issues to the laughter that we need. Planting seeds of progress, watch them grow from just a seed. This is authentic, this is raw, this is everything you saw. Welcome to the battle that is truly being fought. Oh, so come with your respect and see the real effect, cause I protect my own right here on the throne. Don't make me unleash the dragon. You've been warned. Yeah. Don't make me unleash the dragon. You've been warned. Yeah. Don't make me unleash the dragon, you've been warned. Yeah. Golden Queen H2.0. The movement starts now. Go ahead. Hit subscribe, ring that notification bell. You don't want to miss a thing. Welcome to the family.